In the dusty haze of the Arizona desert, where the sun beat down like an unrelenting hammer on the cracked earth, Jake Harlan pulled his weathered pickup truck onto the overgrown driveway of his family's old ranch. It had been abandoned for over a decade since his grandfather passed away, leaving behind nothing but memories tangled in barbed wire fences and crumbling barns. Jake, a rugged 35-year-old ex-Marine turned drifter, had inherited the place but never bothered to claim it until now. Driven by a mix of nostalgia and desperation after losing his job in the city, the ranch house loomed ahead, its paint peeling like old skin, windows shattered by time and vandals, and the porch sagging under the weight of forgotten years. He stepped out, boots crunching on gravel mixed with weeds, the air thick with the scent of sagebrush and decay. As he pushed open the creaky front door, a wave of musty air hit him, carrying whispers of the past, his grandfather's laughter, the lowing of cattle, long gone, and something else, something alive and out of place. He flicked on his flashlight, sweeping the beam across the living room, cluttered with dust-covered furniture and scattered papers, his heart pounding not from fear but from the eerie silence broken only by the distant howl of a coyote. Deeper into the house, in the kitchen, he found signs of recent habitation, a half-eaten apple on the counter, its flesh still fresh, and footprints in the dust leading toward the basement door. Curiosity piqued, Jake descended the rickety stairs, the wood groaning under his weight, and at the bottom, in the dim glow of his light, he saw her, a young woman huddled in the corner, her wide eyes reflecting terror and defiance, her long dark hair cascading over a simple white dress that clung to her slender frame like a second skin. She couldn't have been more than 22, her skin pale as if she'd never seen the sun, and her lips parted in a silent gasp as she stared at him. "Who the hell are you?" Jake demanded, his voice echoing off the concrete walls, but she didn't flinch. Instead, she rose slowly, her movements graceful, yet predatory, like a wild animal sizing up its prey. "I've been waiting for you," she whispered, her voice soft and melodic, carrying an accent he couldn't place, perhaps Eastern European or something more exotic. Jake's mind raced squatter, runaway, but there was no fear in her eyes, only a strange hunger that made his pulse quicken. She stepped closer, the air between them charged with an electric tension, and before he could react, she reached out, her fingers brushing his arm, sending a shiver down his spine. "You're going to have sex with me," she said boldly, her words hanging in the air like a challenge, her virgin innocence betrayed only by the slight tremble in her voice. Yet her gaze burned with an intensity that belied her purity. Jake laughed nervously, stepping back, but the basement door had swung shut behind him, locking with a click that sounded final. "Lady, I think you've got the wrong guy," he muttered, but she advanced, her body language screaming desire mixed with desperation, as if her very survival depended on this moment. He tried the door, but it wouldn't budge, and in the confined space, her scent wildflowers and earth enveloped him, clouding his thoughts. She told him her name was Ilara, that she'd been drawn to this ranch by dreams. Visions of a man who would come and claim her, break the curse that bound her to virginity and solitude. Jake scoffed at first, thinking her mad, but as she spoke, weaving tales of ancient rituals and a family legacy tied to this land, he felt a pull, a magnetic force drawing him in. The ranch, she explained, wasn't just abandoned. It was haunted by spirits of women like her, preserved in time, waiting for the rightful heir to awaken them through passion. Hours passed in that basement as she recounted her story, how she'd awakened in the ranch years ago, untouched and eternal, feeding on the energy of the land, but craving human connection. Jake listened, mesmerized, his skepticism crumbling under the weight of her earnest eyes, and the inexplicable warmth spreading through his body. She touched him again, her hand on his chest, feeling his heartbeat accelerate, and whispered promises of ecstasy beyond imagination if he surrendered. The air grew thick, heavy with anticipation, and Jake found himself leaning in, his lips inches from hers, the line between reality and fantasy blurring. But doubt crept in. What if this was a trap, a hallucination from dehydration, or something more sinister? He pulled away, demanding proof, and Ilara smiled slyly, leading him to a hidden compartment in the wall where old journals lay, penned by his grandfather, detailing encounters with ethereal women on this very ranch, women who offered forbidden pleasures in exchange for their freedom. As he read, the words leaped off the page, mirroring his current predicament, and a chill ran through him. Ilara pressed against him, her body soft and inviting, her breath hot on his neck. "Don't fight it, Jake. You're the one. Release me." The chapter of resistance was closing. Desire ignited like a wildfire in the desert night. He kissed her then, tentative at first, but her response was fervent, her hands exploring him with a curiosity that confirmed her virginity, yet fueled by an ancient knowledge. They tumbled to the makeshift bed in the corner, clothes shedding like old skins, and in that moment, the ranch came alive around them, whispers in the walls, shadows dancing, but Jake was lost in her, the world fading to the rhythm of their union. Yet, as passion peaked, a vision flashed. Ilara wasn't alone. There were others, waiting in the shadows of the ranch, and this was just the beginning. The curse wasn't broken. It was merely awakened, binding him to a fate of endless desire and danger. As they lay entwined, spent and breathless, Elara murmured, "This is only the start. My love, the ranch holds more secrets." Jake's eyes widened. Realizing he'd stepped into a web from which there might be no escape, the abandoned rancher, now his prison of pleasure. The night deepened, and with it, the allure of the unknown pulled him deeper into her world, where virginity was a gateway to immortality, and sex was the key to unlocking horrors and ecstasies alike. But for now, in the afterglow, he felt powerful, alive, oblivious to the gathering storm. Dawn broke over the ranch like a reluctant visitor, casting golden rays through the cracked windows and illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air as Jake stirred. From a sleep deeper than any he'd known, Elara lay beside him, her naked form glowing ethereally, her virginity shattered but her essence seemingly amplified, as if the act had infused her with a radiant power that made her even more irresistible. Jake's body ached with satisfaction, yet a nagging unease gnawed at him. The journals, the whispers, the locked door that had mysteriously opened come morning. He rose, dressing quickly, and ventured upstairs, the house feeling different now, alive with subtle movements, creaks in the floorboards that sounded like footsteps, breezes through sealed rooms carrying faint moans. Elara followed, her dress reformed as if by magic, clinging to her curves in a way that reignited the fire in his veins. "You can't leave me now," she said, her voice a sultry purr. "We're bound." Jake shook his head, needing air, space to think, and stepped outside into the blistering heat, the desert stretching endlessly, mocking his isolation. But as he walked the property, inspecting the barns and outbuildings his grandfather had left to rot, he discovered more. In the largest barn, hidden behind bales of moldy hay, another woman awaited, her features similar to Elara's but with fiery red hair and eyes like emeralds, her body untouched and yearning. "You're going to have sex with me," she declared, echoing Elara's words, her voice trembling with anticipation and command. Jake froze, heart racing. Another virgin, another apparition tied to the ranch's curse. Elara appeared at his side, smiling knowingly. "This is Lila, my sister and spirit. The ranch collects us, preserves us for the air." The revelation hit like a sandstorm. His grandfather hadn't just encountered one. The journals hinted at multiples. A harem of eternal virgins, sustained by the land's dark magic, each requiring release to manifest fully. Jake's mind reeled horror, mixed with forbidden excitement as Leela approached, her hands tracing his arms, promising pleasures unique to her essence, wilder and more intense. He resisted at first, backing away, but the barn doors slammed shut, sealing them in, and Elara whispered encouragements, her jealousy absent, replaced by a shared hunger. The air thickened with arousal, the scent of hay and desire overwhelming, and soon Jake surrendered again, the three of them entwined in a dance of passion that blurred boundaries. Elara guiding Leela through her first experiences, their bodies a symphony of gasps and moans echoing through the wooden beams. As ecstasy built, visions flooded Jake, the ranch's history unfolding like a twisted tapestry, his ancestors discovering the curse after unearthing an ancient artifact buried in the soil, a relic from lost civilizations that granted immortality through perpetual virginity, broken only by the bloodline's touch. Each union strengthened the magic, drawing more spirits from the ether, turning the ranch into a paradise of pleasure or a prison of addiction. Post-climax, as they lay in the hay, Leela transformed, her form solidifying, her gratitude palpable in lingering kisses. But the discoveries didn't end. Deeper in the ranch, in the old well house, a third woman emerged, raven-haired and voluptuous, named Myra, uttering the same fateful words with a voice like velvet thunder. Jake, now enthralled, felt the pull irresistible, the curse weaving its threads around his soul, each encounter heightening his senses, making colors brighter, touches electric, desires insatiable. Elara and Lila joined, turning the ritual into an orgy of awakening, bodies intertwining in ways that defied mortal limits, the well house alive with their cries. Yet amid the bliss, Jake glimpsed the downside the journals warned of: drain, how the ancestors withered, their life force siphoned to sustain the women, leading to madness or death. Fear flickered, but lust overpowered, and he delved deeper, exploring hidden cellars and attics, unearthing more virgins, a blonde named Sarah with innocent blue eyes, a brunette called Nia whose laughter hid depths of passion. Each proclaimed, "You're going to have sex with me," and each time, the group grew, the encounters escalating into feverish marathons under the desert stars, bodies slick with sweat, the ranch pulsing with energy. Jake became the center, a king in his domain, but doubts crept in during quiet moments. Was this freedom or enslavement? The women adored him, their virginities offered as gifts, yet their numbers swelled, demanding more, their appetites endless. As the sun set on his first full day, a gathering storm brewed. Lightning cracked the sky, revealing the artifact in the ranch's heart, a glowing stone in the cellar, the source of it all. Touching it, Jake felt power surge, visions of breaking the curse or embracing it forever. The women surrounded him, a chorus of pleas and promises, their hands everywhere, pulling him into another vortex of ecstasy. In the throes, he realized the truth. The title of heir meant eternal guardian, lover to the lost, and as passion peaked once more, he chose to stay. The ranch, his kingdom, but whispers hinted at escape, a ritual to shatter the stone, yet the allure was too strong. The chapter closed with Jake amid his harem, the desert night alive with their symphony, bound by desire, the abandoned rancher now a haven of forbidden delights, where virginity was currency and sex the ultimate power. Asterisk if you loved this thrilling, seductive tale of mystery and passion. Don't miss out on more epic stories like this. Hit that subscribe button now to join our channel for weekly scripts, behind-the-scenes insights, and exclusive content that will keep you hooked. Your subscription means the world. Let's build this community together.